Hi, everyone. Hello, I am Ryan Gingery. I'm with Pop Dust and we're with Vicetone. Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi. Sick intro, by the
Yeah,
way.
great intro.
Right, feels like summertime.
Yeah.
Like I'm ready. I'm ready to get a tan. Hello.
That's
Okay, so I have to start off with this burning question for me. I thought in your background it was cheetah print. It's not. Tell me about that. Do you see
so
what I'm talking about? Yeah.
One. It looks like a chia print. So
yeah, it
actually,
does.
what that is it's acoustic treatment. So it's like a bass trap, and it's for acoustic reasons. So we're in our studio right now, one of our studios, and that thing both absorbs sounds and it diffuses sound technically. And they look cool, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Like
a
it
lot.
doesn't it looks like a cheetah print. Like, did you plan that or was it just a happy
Well,
accident?
I planned my shirt like to match it a little bit. You know.
Okay, so you're the cheetah print guy. I love that.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, in our studio, we actually built this with the two of us,
Yeah.
and we ordered all these panels, and we did a lot of measurements to make sure that in the position right now, you can see it, but there's two speakers here, and then our subwoofers and the TV that we work of, and the laptop that we're recording on right now is on my MIDI keyboard piano. So we're just in our studio, and these things like the all the bass traps on the ceiling right here, you see them too.
Yeah.
They they help a lot.
Yeah.
Makes our jobs much easier.
We probably sound a little bit better now too because of it.
Oh yeah, here you go. Yeah, now you can see
Oh yeah, you can see everything.
there's more there.
Yes.
Yeah, and a piano over there.
And are you all in Nashville?
Yeah, we are. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so everybody's moving to Nashville, it seems. The last interview we had here at Pop Dust, also a big move. So obviously it's a big music city. But what was the personal draw for you there?
Well, we already knew a couple of people here, including our music agent who we're good friends with, who already lived here. And when we used to live in LA, we do writing sessions, and we'd also do them in Nashville sometimes. And we felt a really strong draw to this city. And we're originally from the north of Holland, like 1.5 hours away from Amsterdam, and that was just like a much quieter place than Los Angeles was when we lived there. LA has as many people inhabitants as our whole country did. So
Yeah.
after 2 years, they were like, "Oh, we want something else," and we moved to Nashville 5 years ago, and we just can't say, yeah, we can't leave anymore. Like,
Also, like the quality of life is so much better for us as DJs too, because when we were living in LA, we're kind of in Pasadena, like to the upper east of downtown,
Mhm.
the valley. Yeah, so we had to
Yeah.
drive so long to the airport every single time we would have a show, and right now we're like 10 to 15 minutes max from the airport, so it's such a breeze now to travel. So much better.
yeah.
Yeah. And so are you drawing like, what's the crowds like at your shows in Nashville? Are you showing in Nashville or are you just like mostly living in Nashville? How's
Yeah.
that been?
we haven't. We've only played one show in Nashville like years ago, and you've done an impromptu show
Yeah,
once or
for
twice
friends.
for fun, for friends.
Yeah.
As far as like a Vicetone show, we don't really do that here as much because maybe, I mean, knock on wood, maybe this will come in the future, but the EDM scene in Nashville is not as big as in other cities that we play in. So living here is mostly really important for us, or good for us for the writing aspect, producing. There's a lot of talented vocalists, writers, and producers here that we love to work with.
Yeah. I'm now thinking, I'm like, what if you all like started like the EDM scene in Nashville? That would be kind of dope. And like also, you've been there for 5 years. Have you gotten any like Americana influence at all? Like, how would that even work? Like, now I'm like, anything's possible. Like, has that influenced you at all, the music scene there?
Well, a funny thing that we noticed is as soon as we started doing writing sessions here, the writers and vocalists were very relieved to finally not work on country and like
Ah,
their genres a little bit. So yeah, we just do our thing. We play them EDM music, just stuff that we love to make, and they're very open. Most writers are very open to work with it. I'm very excited. So I'm sure there's some influence and some change in top lines that we get a little bit, but
but not really from our
no.
like what we love to do. That's like, we just have our kind of signature style or sound that we really love to make.
Yeah.
But it's very refreshing to work with people who normally don't really work on dance music, and they'll have like fresh, interesting takes on where to take a top line or a vocal, for example.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. And then just like personally, then like how's being down south treating you? And it seems like, do you think you'll ever live someplace with the winter again? Like you're from Holland. I'm from Chicago originally. I don't
No,
ever want to touch snow.
no, I get it. Yeah, Chicago
Yeah.
is brutal in the winter.
Very, very difficult.
Well, Nashville is still kind of cold, and it's still cold in the winter. It gets freezing at night here, for example. But there wasn't any snow in the last 2 years. There was one time.
Yeah, there
There
was
one
one
time.
week.
One
Yeah.
week actually. It was pretty bad. But the like climate wise, we're from Holland, which also is very cold, dark,
Yeah.
gloomy winters. So we're kind of used to that. In a way, what we love living in LA, but we like one of the reasons why we like Nashville is that it has all 4 seasons. And we're kind of studio hermits. I love being in this studio for like hours every day. And if it's really beautiful weather outside, and there's a pool there, for example, and there's a beach there, it's a lot harder to keep yourself motivated to do that. But
Yeah.
if it's like a nice and gloomy, dark day, and you have like a cup of tea and you're wearing, double sweaters, I love those days because it's really, I don't know, I love being in the studio like that when it's really cold outside. It feels very cozy, and yeah, some of our best ideas came from those kinds of days. I don't know how that's for you, but
I love rain too. I listen to rain in hotel rooms when I try to sleep, so it just makes me feel very cozy naturally. But yeah, there is no better feeling than being in the studio and just hearing it rain a little bit outside. You're like, oh, time to be creative.
yeah, there's a lot more here than in LA. In LA, it was like I don't know, counting. Like we lived there for 2 years, and I think it rained like 4 times or something.
Yeah. And it's like, it's not even rain, it just feels like somebody's like spitting on you a little bit.
Yeah,
Oh man.
Rain.
Wow. I don't like generally feel nostalgic for rain, but
I will say we're not trashing LA, by the way. It's just
no, just I mean it doesn't rain here. I mean, there's a lot going for LA. Rain is not one of the things.
I mean, there is like nothing beats LA weather. We'll say that, but if you don't mind cold weather every once in a while, Nashville's a great place.
Yeah, I love Nashville. My sister lives in East Nashville, so I get there a couple times a year. It's really cool, and I didn't know a lot about it. I don't know how much you knew about it, but it was like, oh, this is
East Nashville's considered like the new like mini Brooklyn comparable.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
So,
Except there's a bunch of nature, and that's awesome. Like that. Oh, yeah. Okay, so now let's talk about your new single. How are you feeling? Like, congratulations. It's so cool to put together any work of art and share it with people. I mean, and it's good. Like, right?
The total package, yeah.
Right? Pat yourself on the back a little bit.
The thing I like to do is when we finally release a single, I like to drive around, put it in the car, and just put it on loop because it's the first time you can listen to it and it's out in the world. You cannot change anything about it. And we spent so much time, trying to perfect it for us, nailing every single detail. It just takes a really long time to get it to the 100% mark, basically, and to finally listen to it and enjoy it as just a listener, another producer. That it feels like a little bit of a celebration for the release.
Yeah, it does. And what's always most important to us is that we feel very confident with the art that we create. The song needs to be something that we won't wake up in the middle of the night later and be like, can I curse on this?
Hey, go for it.
Okay. Did you see how I was Did you see I was like, oh, can I say
That's professionalism.
That's professionalism, yeah. Can you tell we've done interviews before? No. I would be like, fuck, we should have changed this, like, oh. And anytime that never really happens with us, but I'm sure it happened in the first few years. And that's why we go, always try to go the extra mile and like make sure that every single detail, even if no one will hear it but us, that we basically make sure that everything's sort of all the I's are dotted, all the T's are crossed, and like all the little details that we want here in our heads that they're in the track.
What's
Um,
the littlest detail of this song that you kept switching back and forth on?
oh,
Like
that's a
what? Yeah.
well, we finished the mix of this months ago,
Hmm.
so I have to think back. But I do remember you added a few little details in the bridge, like a little swoosh and a little psh, psh, like little. He's really good at that stuff.
There,
Like very little. Like we always the analogy we use is like if you have a cake and you just sprinkle a little bit of or like any dish, you just sprinkle a little salt on top. Like
Hmm.
that's kind of what.
Maldon salt flakes. Yes, the
Yeah.
songs need Maldon salt flakes. That's
Yes.
what I've been
and I'm
saying.
convinced like a cake is good anyway, even without the sprinkles. But if you keep eating it, it needs to stay interesting. And those little like details eventually will make the difference to keep you hooked. That's what I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's very pleasing for us to just listen to, and especially in a nice studio like this one.
Yeah, if you have some good headphones out there after this interview, listen to the song and just like close your eyes and listen to the stereo image. There's always stuff happening. That's what we love to do. So notice
Because
it.
you make music like it's a feeling.
Yeah.
Like I want to be around people when I'm listening. You know, it's I think people don't think about like how important dance music is. Like not to sound cheesy, but to be able to freely move with other people because it really is festival music. Like you're celebrating being around each other and being able to feel music in your body and community in your body.
Well, yeah, and that's also one of the reasons why music. Like I was always drawn to dance music because it made me feel so alive and like energetic, and wouldn't always get that feeling from other genres necessarily. So, like that's what always drew me to dance music. That feeling of like, oh, I'm alive, and even at festivals or club nights or raves, like there's just something really palpable about the energy in those places, and that makes you feel really, yeah, alive. I would say. So.
Yeah, 100%.
I feel like you would feel the same way, right?
Well, it's also one of the reasons why we call this Barcelona Nights, because
Yes.
the word Barcelona it's not mentioned in the song, but we felt so strongly that this song is such a feel good dance summer song. And we just envisioned ourselves dancing in a nightclub, with friends in the summer in one of um, those cities that are always so vibrant. And we thought Barcelona Nights was a very fitting
Yeah, and
concept.
Barcelona has that special vibe and energy at night that if you've been to Barcelona, you understand, and it's kind of hard to explain, but that's why we named it. The song's like, okay, well, maybe we have this vibe of this song kind of describes it, kind of feels that way. So that's why we named it Barcelona Nights.
Yeah. No, I get that. And then you were talking about going back and forth, the salt on top, working with someone else though. How do you know, okay, it's ready? Because you can feel it and you can feel it. It's a feeling, obviously, like when you know it's ready, but how do you compromise on that?
Well, one of the reasons why we've been doing this for 10 years and we're still excited for the next 30 years of doing this, if our health if not longer, is that like we never really feel we're compromising. And we've known this from when we were teenagers, that our music styles are almost identical, and it rarely happens, but we always love the same songs, we always love the same sounds. So what we'll do at the end stage of this track, what we did was we both listened to it on our separate systems. I came up with a list of things that I wanted to add still. He came up with this list, and we just implement them all, basically. And if one idea is like not good enough, then the other person would say like, this, I tried this is not going to work, and then it's fine. But at the end of the day, we are lucky that we have a very similar view of what we want Firestone to be, what our sound should be, how our music should sound. And we're just lucky that we like the same things. And so it never really, I can't even remember the last time or a time where we're like, I really want this sound, he doesn't, now we have to compromise somehow. We're kind of lucky and privileged
Yeah.
that doesn't happen that
I
much.
think we're in a position to respect each other's vision so much that if I have an idea, I'm just really curious what Ruben thinks of it. And if he's not feeling it, then I'm totally fine not going with it. Because a lot of times it's a little bit hard to judge your own ideas and melodies.
Yeah.
So then it's actually really nice to have someone else listen to it and give his opinion. So I mean, I only see see like work better than working alone, honestly.
Oh, 100%. It's so much better than we realized that early on too. Like, oh, if we combine or like we make music together, it's so much. It turns out so much better than if we were to individually make music.
Yeah.
And that's the best. That's the best thing about being in a duo.
Bless you, by the way.
Yeah, bless you.
It's so funny. I'm coughing. Excuse me. I always want to bless you for my cough, so thank you.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Bless your cup.
I was gonna say, do you all work on separate projects? But I totally get that having a friend influence the way your work goes instead of like keeping it so private is super helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we don't work in like we what happens is we'll make ideas individually. Like I'll have a little idea, Victor will have an idea, and then the first question always becomes, "What is Victor's gonna think?" Like and
Yeah.
that's when the collaboration comes because almost always when we have an idea, the other person will go, "Actually, we should take it this way," and then the idea becomes better, and that's the magic, if you will, of our project together. That we improve the music together.
Yeah, that's what you hear in the end on Spotify. That's the Vicetone sound.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of going back and forth, and a lot of creative ideas that we like to share.
Yeah. I mean, that's ideas that last too. Like it's all people adding to stuff and you all do remixes of other people's songs and like I mean, there's a good and bad with every like social media platform, but something really cool about TikTok is like this we're in the like touching other people's ideas stage where like, we've been isolated for so long and now like it's at least opening up digitally where we're like, oh, let's try this idea. But you two have the advantage of like feeling the space of each other.
Exactly.
Yeah, I feel that TikTok. That's one of the things I love about TikTok is you see those, some producers just throw out an instrumental and then you'll have someone else sing over it, or like hundreds or thousands of people sing over it, and it just creates this connection between people that I feel a lot of people during the pandemic didn't really have. They were very lonely.
Yeah.
And so TikTok definitely helped with that, which is awesome.
Yeah. But also, you shouldn't be on it for 5 hours a day.
We're not yet, so that's good.
Oh my gosh, yes. Ooh, don't do it.
There would not be a Barcelona night.
Oh yes. So what's next for you? What are you all working on, or what can you say? I know that's like personal as well.
Well, we just planned our new single. It's not set in stone, but probably around September. And then tour-wise, we're going to be touring North America, I think, later this year, right after summer. And then in next month, we have a few Asia shows. So we're going to, can I say this?
I mean, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Yes, let's just say.
But we're going to Japan, Korea, and Indonesia.
Oh yes.
10 days.
Yeah.
So that's really fun for us because again, we haven't had any Asia shows since like 2 to 3 years due to COVID. So hey, like feels life is back to normal, and we're getting on the road again, flying to Asia and doing some shows there. Yeah, things are good. Things are really good.
Yeah.
And how cool to like go on a world, like that's what's so cool about dance music too. Like you don't need to understand the words. Like even like I'm from Chicago, so I love Chicago house. Sometimes I don't know what they're saying, but I can feel it. Right? And like how cool to like look over a sea of people and you probably don't speak the same language as them and they can feel you and you can feel them. Like
honestly, that's the best feeling ever. It just hits a little different if you're, let's say, in South Korea or Japan and everyone still knows the words to your lyrics.
Yeah.
That's such a special bonding moment for everyone. And we're so stoked to go back because Asia just kind of opened up again, and we used to tour there a lot. So it has been a long break, but now going back just feels awesome.
Back on the road.
Oh, I'm so happy for you all. And and I did have one more question because I was thinking, So the song feels like summer, right? And you're
Yeah.
describing being in Barcelona and that feeling, being with friends. When you're creating these songs, are you like, oh, I want to create a summer song, or do you just create a song and kind of hold on to it until the release date is right? Just curious.
Well, for this one, it just everything felt natural. We worked on it. Was it this year or did we work on it last year too?
Well, we finished it up this year,
This year,
but
yeah.
last year we also did a lot of work on it. So it's been quite a long time in the making. Usually when we work, it's more at first focus on the music and kind of like what kind of vibe we want to go for. We didn't come up with the title Barcelona Nights until very
Yeah.
late. So it wasn't like we weren't like in our minds, oh, this sounds like Barcelona. I mean, maybe we were, but we weren't gonna name it that until like very late in the process.
Right. And then
Yeah.
you just felt it.
And we're like, I mean, we had a bunch of other track title ideas, but it's like, this feels like I we couldn't really shake that idea of like, oh, this feels like you're going out in Barcelona, so why don't we just name it that?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. It also feels like July in New York because so many European tourists come to New York in July, and I'm gonna dance to this song when I go visit. So thank you very much.
Hell
Love
yeah.
it. Thank you.
Yes. Oh, it's been wonderful talking to you. You guys are so chill and easy and make really great dance music. So thank you.
Oh, thank you for having us. This was fun.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, and have a wonderful summer.
Thank you. Well, you
Yeah.
too.
All right.
All right.
Everyone, this has been Vicetone, and I'm Ryan with Pop Dust. Thank you so much.